Welcome back, folks, for a new episode of Elite, where I report on information regarding to what's coming next for World of Tanks. Now, as of today, October 10th, the super test server for the 9.4 patch is online, and a lot of the super testers are testing out the new premium/special reward tanks that's introduced with the upcoming patch. Now, I've gone through mostly all the special tanks except for one, the Objekt 260. Now, this tank, if you already play high tier games, may be familiar to you. This is the early prototype to the IS-7, and it is introduced as a premium/special tank at tier 10. Now, this is confirmed not to be a reward tank for the Clans War/Stronghold mode, so if random players could get this tank, people will go crazy. People will go nuts. This is an early model of the IS-7, early prototype, and if random people could get it based off of a mission, that would be nuts. So not a lot of information on how to obtain this tank is being released yet, but it is pretty crazy. So here are the in-game models for the Objekt 260, and yeah, it's IS-7. Oh my god, this is a premium tier 10 tank, heavy tank for the Russians, and oh man, if I could get my hand on one of these things, oh boy. So there are only two premium tier 10 tanks in the game, or special tanks if you will. One is the M60 medium tank that's introduced as a gift tank for finishing the first Clans War mission. So that's a long time ago, but it is very rare because you cannot buy this tank from the gift shop, and it is a very rare tank. The second tank is the VK7201K. This is a Mega Lion, Mega Low. So yeah, this is also another Clans War reward for the most fame points on the second Clans War campaign. So these are only the two tier 10 special heavy or special tanks in general that's introduced. Now, the Objekt 260 is being confirmed not to be a Clans War/Stronghold mode reward tank. So how the hell do you obtain this thing? If you can obtain this thing from a special mission, that would be nuts, because it's basically getting an IS-7 from just doing missions. I don't know, it's too OP to be given out to random people like me, way too OP. But here are the stats of this tank. Now today is picture day, so I'll show you all the pictures of the premium vehicles introduced with the 9.4 patch on the super test server. But here are the stats for the Objekt 260, the IS-7 prototype. This is a tier 10 heavy tank obviously, so it is going to be special of a reward tank, very hard to get I presume. Hit points wise, 2100, shy end of the heavy tanks obviously on tier 10. But that's alright. Engine power is very good engine power, 1200 horsepower. The tank weighs 61 tons, so power to weight ratio is pretty goddamn good for a heavy tank. Jesus Christ, this is almost borderline light tank status. This tank is very mobile, very mobile. This engine, the 1200 horsepower engine, is the same engine used on the KV-4, and the KV-4 weighs about 120 tons, so that's a very good engine for such a small weight, given a very good power to weight ratio. Make this thing faster than medium tanks, so to speak. That's nuts. Maximum top speed is 60 kilometers per hour. That is fast, very fast for a heavy tank. This is a heavy tank, by the way. I think I mentioned that. This is a heavy tank. It has very good power to weight ratio, very good top speed. Hull traverse is decent for a heavy tank, 28 degrees per second, so that's alright. Hull armor is 150mm at the front, very well sloped, like the IS-7. Side armor is also 150 at the sides, so side scraping is also a very good idea. Rear armor is only 70mm, but that's the ass, so we don't have to worry about it. Turret armor is very bouncy, 350mm at the front. Jesus, that's even thicker than the T-32 heavy tank. American even. That is nuts. Side of the turret is 240mm, well sloped as well. So the side of the turret can also bounce shots. That is nuts. The rear of the turret is 100mm, but that's the rear obviously. The gun is a 122mm BL-13 gun, so it is like all the guns at tier 10. Very good penetration, 260mm. So this thing will get through most tanks it face. Premium round is likely APCR with 340mm of penetration. Both do kind of low damage for a heavy tank at tier 10, only 390. Whereas the IS-7, the 130mm on the IS-7, that thing does about 490 or 440, one of which. But the damage is kind of low for a tier 10 heavy tank. But this tank is very mobile, so you can actually play this thing like a scout or a medium tank. Medium tank easy. You can play medium tank with this thing easy because of the power to weight ratio. You can even perform scouting roles if you're nuts. That's pretty crazy. High explosive has 68mm of penetration, so you can easily go through Waffen triggers, obviously, and deals the same amount of damage as the regular AP round on the 130mm round from the IS-7. So that's alright. DPM is kind of low, 1,903. If you fit a gun rammer, this will probably be 2,000 or something like that, but it's kind of low DPM for a tier 10 heavy tank, so this thing doesn't fire as fast. Rate of fire is only 4.8 rounds per minute. With the gun rammer, probably 5 rounds. So this thing reloads about 12 seconds. That's pretty bad. Alright, you have to have some weak spots, I guess. Accuracy is decent for a Russian tank, 0.37. Aim time is Russian, 2.8 seconds. Alright. Turret traverse is kind of slow, 26 degrees per second. Alright. View range is good, 400 meters. And radio range is 720 meters. Standard for all high tier tanks. But what strikes me the most is the power to weight ratio, 19.57. That is medium tank, good medium tank power to weight ratio. This is almost light tank base light tank base power to weight ratio. That's almost like the Af Panther, but oh my god, this is a very good power to weight ratio, meaning you can get up to the top speed of 60 kilometers per hour very quickly. So you can actually get into those medium tank scouting positions or key down positions, such as the little boob-shaped hills on airfield. You can actually get to those positions fast because of this engine. But this is a heavy tank with very good armor, like the IS-7 at the front. The gun is not that DPM wise, but it's still punchy, so it still can go through most tanks it face. But wow, this thing is a medium? Is a heavy? Wow, that's nuts. So here are the comparison between the Objekt 260 to the IS-7. So the Objekt 260 looks a little bit narrower than the IS-7, but not by much, but it is still very well sloped frontal armor, the stuck-up pike nose, like all IS series tanks introduced with the IS-3. So that's pretty nuts. If it's 150mm like the IS-7 at the front, it will be very bouncy, very bouncy. So yeah, let's see if we can mimic the exact angle of the picture. So yeah, it's pretty much the same as the IS-7, mostly. That is nuts. Is this space armor at the sides? Yep, that is likely to be space armor. So the hull armor is very similar to the IS-7. Might be even the same. That is pretty nuts. But the IS-7 doesn't get 350mm at the front of the turret. So you can actually bounce a lot of shots with the turret front. Well, you can just bounce APCR or heat shells from all gold shells from the front of the turret. That is nuts. But alright, here are the stats comparison. So the IS-7 has 50 more health. That's alright. That's okay. Engine power is not as good because you have more engine power, 150. So the power to weight ratio is off the charts, 19.57 in comparison to 15.4. So this thing, the Objekt 260, propels like a bullet. This thing is fast. Jesus Christ. Alright. It weighs 61.3 tons, whereas the IS-7 weighs even heavier, 68 tons. So, alright. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's see. We already talked about power to weight ratio. Maximum top speed is pretty much the same, 60 kilometers per hour. But with this engine, you can actually get to that 60 kilometers per hour very quickly. So, alright. Reverse is not being given, so I cannot tell you about the reverse speed. Hull traverse is the same, alright? Hull armor is the same, mostly. Should be. Let's see. Side of the armor at the sides is 150, so the same like the IS-7. Rear of the armor is 70, so the same, alright? Turret front is better than the IS-7. I already talked about that, but IS-7 has 270 millimeters at the front, where this thing has 350 millimeters at the front. Jesus Christ! Don't even think about penetrating the turret of this thing. Even if you have a missile, don't even think about it. You will not penetrate the front of this turret. Never. Even with APCR on the BL-10, you will not penetrate. Even with APCR on the T-30's gun, the 150 millimeter, you will not penetrate. I don't even think you will penetrate with the APCR on the Yak Tigers or Yak Panzer E-100's gun. I don't think you will penetrate this turret from the front with any shell in the game. That's how... Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright, side of the turret is 240 in comparison to the IS-7, which has about 240 if it's on the front, 210 if it's in the middle, and 185. I can't even read that. Alright, that's kind of small. Alright, but that's okay. So it has better side armor too. Rear of the turret is 6 more millimeters. Alright, but yeah, that's pretty nuts. Now here's the gun comparison. So the IS-7 has the 130 millimeter. If I can look that up, please. Alright, I just look up here. So the penetration is 10 more millimeters of penetration than the IS-7's 130 millimeter. So it's upgraded 122 millimeter in comparison, but that's pretty nuts. Damage is way lower, about 100 damage less than the 130 millimeter. Alright. DPM is only shy of 300 less, so that's quite alright. I thought tier 10 heavy tanks has about 2500 DPM, but that's alright. It's okay. Module damage is not being given, so alright. Reload time is a little bit, let's see, I need to actually compare, faster than the 130 millimeter. So you actually reload about every 12 seconds instead of 13 seconds, but you'll do less damage, obviously. You'll deal less damage. So alright. Accuracy wise, it's better than the IS-7, so by 0.01 meters of dispersion at 100 meters. Alright. Aim time is way better, 2.8 seconds in comparison to 3.2, so you are actually more accurate with the gun. Gun traverse or turret traverse is, let's see, the same, 26 degrees per second. Kinda slow, but alright. View range is the same. Radio range is only 30 meters less, so that's quite alright. It's only standard, so all you need is about 700 meters of radio range, and you should be fine. But this thing has less DPM, no doubt, than the IS-7, but it penetrates more with 10 more millimeters of penetration for the standard AP ammo. It weighs less than the IS-7. It goes faster because the higher engine power. Now armor is pretty much the same in my opinion, because if you base it on the picture, if I just recreate the the picture shot, so it looks pretty much like that. So which looks pretty much the same as the IS-7. So the armor's width as well as length is pretty much the same as the IS-7. So it's pretty bouncy, pretty goddamn bouncy. Now, the only weak spot I can notice is the low DPM, and the low damage. But other than that, this tank is basically an IS-7 with better engine, so it performs like a medium tank. So it trades engine power, or it trades damage and gun, well, mostly damage and DPM for better engine and better turret armor. But Jesus, the armor is the same. The damage is not that bad. The penetration is still good, just the damage is kinda low. Reload is also low, so alright, you get about 2000 DPM, 2100 DPM, so alright. So you have to hide most of the time, but the spike in the horsepower to weight ratio is tremendous. 15 in comparison to 20 almost. That is nuts. This thing will shift like crazy. Ooh. And my final opinion about the Objekt 260. Take it. Take my money. Take it. Take it all. I don't care. Give me. Give me. Now, it is confirmed that this is not a clan war or stronghold mode reward tank. So maybe random players could get this tank based on special missions. Or I don't know how you're gonna get this tank. But take my kidneys. Take it. It's like a medium tank version of the IS-7. What? You're just trading DPM and damage for a way better engine, as well as turret armor, way better turret armor. But the IS-7's turret is already hard to penetrate normally. This is basically impenetrable now, even with super high caliber guns, such as the 170mm gun on the Jagdpanzer E100. Even firing a PCR onto the turret of this thing, you will not penetrate. Jesus. How are they going to introduce this tank into the game? It's broken. In my opinion, this is like the Type 59 at tier 10. What? This tank and the T-55A are probably the most OP tanks, in my opinion, that's introduced, or special most OP premium tank introduced with a 9.4 super test patch. But oh my god, this tank is... I think people will kill for this thing. I really think so. I think some Russian will be like, yeah, I'll kill your family for this tank. Just fuck it, give me. Just some people will murder for this thing. Jesus Christ. I mean, the penetration is actually better than the IS-7 by 10mm. So, alright. You can also fire APCR gold shells to compensate with the deep penetration. So you can actually get your DPM up against those heavy armed targets at tier 10. But the only thing lacking from this tank is the damage. So 400 damage per shot is kind of low, whereas the 130mm gun on the IS-7 does about 500 damage per shot. But this thing reloads a little bit faster, so DPM is not that bad. But this thing shifts crazy. It has 33% more horsepower to, 33% more horsepower to ton ratio in comparison with the IS-7. And the IS-7 is legendary on mobility of the tank because it came from the IS line, like the KV-1S. This thing has almost light tank based power to weight ratio. This is top. This is even, I don't know. Let's look at best medium tank at tier fast. Okay, let's look at T62A. Why not? Let's see at the power to weight ratio of this thing. 15.68 on a medium tank at tier 10. Russian even, T62A. Now this thing is not slow, obviously, but the Objekt 260 has better power to weight ratio, better engine, and better top speed. You can go up to 60 kilometers per hour in comparison to 50. And has better armor because it's the IS-7 prototype. What? Alright, I'm still not convinced. Alright, let's look at the bat chat. Oh, okay. Switch to bat chat, please. Alright, the bat chat has 28, no doubt. It's French, it's very fast. But this thing has no armor. This thing has 150mm of slope frontal armor, like the IS-7. Oh my, okay, I need to compare more. Let's see, what else can we compare that's tier 10 medium tank based? Which is a fast one for a tier 10 medium tank? Objekt 140? Let's see. It's faster than Objekt 140 by 5 more kilometers per hour and very good power to weight ratio. 3 more than the 16.11. Oh god. Let's look at Objekt 430. Switch. Better than the Objekt 430? Oh Jesus. This is a heavy tank. It's better than the medium tanks at the same tier. Shit. Oh shit. Yep, way better than the 121, the Chinese version, or Chinese tier 10 medium tank. Leopard? It's almost the same as a Leopard. Holy shit. Oh my god. It's just 1 horsepower per ton ratio factor off. Oh my god. Oh, don't even think about the E50M. That thing is slow. Let's look at the STB. It's very close to the STB. Very close. But STB has not reliable frontal armor and turret armor in comparison to this thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh. Same as the FV, almost the same as the FE 4202. So this is a medium tank. What? What? Power to weight ratio off the charts. Top speed better than medium tanks of the same tier. Armor way better than medium tanks of the same tier. DPM is not that good, but who cares? You have armor. You can just hide or just take shots. Doesn't matter. What? Yeah, people will kill. People will kill for this thing. So, Jesus Christ. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but yeah, people will kill for this thing. People will sell their organs, like their brain, for it. Holy shit. But thank you guys for watching. That's the last of all the special tanks, premium/special tanks introduced with the 9.4 Super Test patch. Now I'll show you guys a lot of the pictures during these testing of the new premium vehicles for my Weekend with Sam video that I'm going to record after this video, obviously. But stay tuned. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you guys for watching. Now subscribe to my channel for more of these leaked video contents, because I really like to do these. And insider info about special tanks like the IS-7 prototype, the Objekt 260, this tank, nuts. Nuts. Power to weight ratio better than medium tanks of the same tier. Almost better than Russian medium tanks of the same tier. What? That is phenomenally good. Phenomenally good. It's broken. It is broken. But hope you guys enjoyed this video, and comment below on what you think about the Objekt 260, the prototype to the IS-7. But this thing, nuts. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Rate, comment, subscribe. That would be helpful for the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.